not down on a river bottom or something, you know.
Yeah.
If it's worth putting the money in, and if you will get way better soil moisture retention or not. And how much AUM, what's your long-term AUM increase or decrease outlook like, you know? If you have a good cover crop in 1 year and it gives you 2,000 pounds an acre on that dry land, but then you can't get anything to grow next year, well, not a good deal.
Yeah,
That's what I ran into. I could wait out the long period to see the improvements.
well, you have no patience.
I do have a problem with patience. So,
Were you
Think of the
grazing?
opportunity you forgot.
I wasn't grazing it, no, elk grazed it, but I didn't, no. But, no, the last year I planted cover crops, I had an 80-acre field, I planted half the cover crops, and the other half I chem bowel. When I went to harvest, of course it didn't help, I planted rye that was supposed to die in the fall and it didn't, it overwintered, so I had to spray it out, that didn't help my bottom line.
Yeah,
But when I combined it, I got 60 bushels on what I chem bowel, and I got 30 bushels on cover crop.
I'll be darned.
was that
Because
north?
they soaked up the moisture.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that north
Yeah,
ridge, yeah.
I had radishes and turnips, and God, I had some nice radishes.
Well, and I think because those soils up there retain water a lot better, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, and see, that's the difference I'm trying to see, because that's fairly well studied, I would say, on how that moisture turnover works in the water cycle there. But it's not quite as good studied in those marginal, really coarse soils.
yeah.
It's not as easy to find information on it anyway, if it is well studied, so,
Yeah, my place is sand,
yeah.
pure sand. It blows well if you let it.
Is that where you planted the cover crops, is where it's sand? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You're saying the cover crops used up the moisture.
Well, yeah, it just makes sense. My old agronomist, Ray Sariki, he's been great. You could have met Ray Sariki, but he died 8 years ago or so. He had a doctor. I mean, he was a doctor of soil science. And he set up a soil lab in Billings. Did all my soil sampling for me. He wouldn't allow the farmer to make soil samples. They always do it wrong. So, but he knew everything about everything. He's the one that told me. I said, well, are cover crops really worth it? He said, well, they do build soil tilth, but he said, they don't work. I asked him, well, what can I plant to break up the soil and still make a crop? He said, sunflowers are about the best.
Yeah, sunflowers have deep roots.
And I even did the sunflowers with Erickson's up there and raised sunflowers. And he said, well, it's all great and fine, but you lose money in the end, just like everything else. So. And you gotta set up your combine for sunflowers. You can't store them because they're oil seed.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's all kinds of problems.
Yeah,
So I didn't plant sunflowers.
I think some of the.
This year I had sunflowers come up in my wheat, they're solid.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have very good oil seed.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're growing sunflowers this year
Old
anyway.
variety.
Well, and I've been trying to see if you can balance that out with doing a lagoon too, though. Because, like on a year like this, there is some spots where it's probably nitrogen limited on that pasture. You know, not every year, but a year like this where we've gotten so much rain, some of those old crested wheat stands, if they would have had an extra bit of nitrogen on them, they might have done quite a bit better. So it's, you know, maybe there is some spots where you can balance that out a little bit with planting a pea or something like that.
Yeah.
It really would just depend on the next year and what kind of rain you got, just like anything else, but
My whole life is dependent on next year.
yeah. But it's interesting stuff anyway. I'm just trying to put together a good kind of packet of information for people
Yeah.
that, I don't know, everyone is kind of like you're talking about, and they just run into all the conservation people, which if you want to do conservation, yeah, do cover crop, that's, you know, but if you're talking about like bottom line, making money, crops, or even if you're gonna use them as forage, I wanna have a packet for those people that's like, hey, here's the trade-offs, you know,
Yeah.
Like if you just wanted to go do a conservation thing, all the conservation people will just tell you, let's go do a cover crop. And it's like, well, yeah, but they don't necessarily always tell you the other side.
Well, I can see the advantage of building the soil up, but you're gonna have to lose money for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
As simple as that. Doing it, eventually, you'll
Well-
see the improvements and you'll see the return.
But your highest costs are gonna be your nitrogen, right? Usually on a
Yeah.
lot of crops, your fertilizer. So I'm trying to see if with lagoons, and there's been, I'm not trying to discover it or anything, I'm just reading so I know the information. But if in like our country that those nitrogen fixers can offset, and depending on, you know, weather conditions of course and your soil conditions
Yeah.
and. But I'm trying to see, you might lose, if we lose 30 bushels, it's probably not offset it, but if you lose 10 bushels, see if those reduced nitrogen costs the next year can offset the reduction in, production. So, yeah. I need to, thinking about buying this stuff. So you guys know, now that we have that capital improvements fund set up, right?
You're gonna buy what?
That, I gave you this sheet earlier.
That perked my company.
Yeah. I'm once again asking for money, they have a copy too, I think, but
That, yeah.
it's just the AV stuff.
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
brought
for
up
that
a while ago,
room.
before we had the capital improvements fund set up. And I think I'm gonna switch from a projector to one of those big television screens, cause they're cheap now.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
It's not, yeah, and I think they work better, and then that way, in the future, cause there's a lot of that room we don't use, and if I get 35 applicators in there, it's tight. So, I'm gonna try it with a big screen, and then if that goes well, I will, you can just get a second big screen and mount it to the wall a little ways down, and then I can set up
Okay.
more tables, and the presenter can just sit in the middle, but it'll just be duplicated for more people.
yeah, I think it's a great idea to upgrade that room, you know, they did something similar at the ambulance barn, but I think this might actually be better.
Just as long as I get the premium seats.
Yeah, well, you did last time, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike was right up there.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna do this, I'll probably talk to Justina, I guess, about how that cash flow needs to work.
Yeah, actually, all you need to do is if you just get the account you're charging it to. And the fund and the fund, the account, and the object code,
Yep.
which would be in your capital improvement, and just buy it, and then when you get the bill, put the claim in. Cause we're approving, basically you have the money,
Right.
and you're just letting us know this is what you're gonna buy, and we're saying, go for it. I don't think there's anything to hold it up further.
Okay, yep. And, so when I do that, how does that work with some of this stuff if I can't, bill it, or I can't get an invoice for it and then pay that, you know what I mean? If they need the cash, like you're ordering online or something or whatever.
Oh, yeah, so, you got two questions there. If they need the money, how are we gonna get the money to them, I guess is you. Maybe you can put in a claim with the quote or whatever.
Yeah, you would have to get a quote, I would imagine. Yeah.
And cause most of this stuff is just like online with the price
Yeah.
right there. So I mean, I can print off all the,
What Ron does is he buys it on his county credit card, and then he just submits the, he just.
right, and I don't have a county credit card, and then we have a debit card, but we only keep like $800 in it or
Okay.
something.
So they're gonna actually need a check, is what they're gonna need from us, from the county, right? Cause I don't know how you buy it online without a credit card.
We use a debit card, but I just don't have the cash in there to do it.
Need to front load it, huh?
Okay. So you need.
Cause like usually, we don't usually buy that much expensive stuff. So.
Like, is there a, so if Justine, if we gave you a check so that you had enough money with your card, Who would the
You
check go
have
to?
to,
There's into the
whatever
bank
the-
account that.
Do you have one for the extension office?
Yeah,
well,
for
it's a debit card, it has to be.
Yeah, actually, we can do it between Darcy and,
We
I
just have to
understand.
load the account the debit card's matched to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably a good idea anyway, you know, for you to have money in that.
Okay.
We used to have a problem with people using their personal cards.
I don't have this much money, so.
It's not a
Really
problem.
No, yeah, I'm sure between Darcy and Justina, we can make it happen, don't let that hold you up.
Okay, I
But
just
they,
want-
you gotta get money put in your account, in your bank account,
That's all.
okay, I just wanna make sure it was alright if we front loaded it that way,
yeah.
policy wise or whatever.
Tell them we're on the Wimpy payment plan.
What?
We'll pay you next Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a hamburger today.
Hamburger today.
I'll pay you, oh yeah,
The Wimpy payment
Wimpy.
plan.
Sounds good, and then yeah, I'm gonna try to get it set up so it's all, I'm gonna get just a basic computer that,
Forgot about that.
I'm trying to decide if
You
it's.
see what they did there? That's basically a computer.
Right, and I'm gonna do something similar with either,
Well, you'll need a computer so people can come in and plug in flash drive. or-
right,
Hey,
and what I'm wondering,
Steph, say this is
on the computer, if I'm even gonna hook it up to the internet
I
or
got
not.
several questions for you.
Because if I don't hook it up to
If
the
you could
internet, I
tell
can
me
just have the
before
password
noon,
right there
that'd
on
be
it.
great.
It's
Alright.
not,
You'd have to work
Security, I
flash.
see your
you'd
name,
have
I'm
to
gonna be
work
picking it
flash
up
drive.
even though I'm
Right.
at a meeting, so need to talk to you.
and that can be changed
Thanks.
It
later.
could just be a simple laptop.
Right, that's what I was thinking, and just so it's like, the only reason I wouldn't hook it up to the internet is like I said, just the security part.
Well, but more importantly, we're supposed to have good firewall and all
So I should go through Morrison Early for the computer.
I think you have to.
that. Yeah, you do. Yeah, this is getting more complicated. They've got standards, you know,
We got
and they'll
these.
fix it up, they'll set it up for the,
Well, that's why I was wondering if I just didn't hook it up to the Wi-Fi, if I could just get my own thing and set it up. 'Cause it's a lot simpler.
well, let's talk about that. You probably could, and then if you wanted to get on the internet, they could configure it. I mean, they could come over
Right.
and say, okay, we've gotta set this workstation up. But they also got some really good input on what's a good computer and what's not a good computer. It might not hurt,
I
if you
don't-
got a minute, I'm not trying to drag this out,
Yeah.
to run this by Ron and say, what should I buy? Like, these are Dells. I've got a different one at home that works fine, I paid like $900 for it or something.
Yeah,
They're getting cheaper and cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Or Levio, which is also a good name, or whatever.
Lenovo,
Yeah,
yeah.
I use a Mac.
well, those are horrible.
I love a Mac. They never go down.
Yeah, I mean, I could, I do.
Don't let us overcomplicate this for you.
That was
But
my
there
main-
is some benefit. I guess I think you'd be limiting yourself from being able, somebody could email you a presentation, you could just, so the computer's gotta have an email address, gotta be able to access your email. But you can kind of get past those growing pains if you wanna start simple, and my mind's just gonna buy a computer, and if I got something, I'm gonna put it on a flash drive.
Well, or flat, but also nowadays, like, I could just get the computer that has Bluetooth, and they can Bluetooth any presentation from their phone or another computer or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's standard.
I don't think you can.
Now it is, yeah. You
Yeah, it
definitely
is.
Oh,
can.
you can.
The newer computers are standard
How?
now.
You just Bluetooth it.
Bluetooth.
Or
It's,
air.
yeah, you just go to your
And if
Bluetooth
it's a Mac,
settings.
I can just AirDrop
Yeah, but
it.
what
AirDrop, yeah.
platform are you gonna, is it a
Like
file?
hotspot or something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like you, because I have a whole Microsoft suite on my phone. Like I have Word and presentation, PowerPoint.
Don't you have to send it to an email?
No, no, you just,
You can just drop the files.
it's a magic. You just go.
I don't know if it's magic, but
Ickety bickety boo, and there it goes. You cross your
so,
magic
like,
wand
is
over
your
there.
Bluetooth on?
On my computer, yeah.
Let me see
Are you doing AirDrop or are you doing
here.
Bluetooth?
Bluetooth, because that's not Mac.
It's not
Oh,
Mac.
yeah, you're saying from
Mac
Mac,
is
so-
AirDrop, yeah.
MCU.
Well, don't I feel archaic?
You just wave your magic wand and boom.
Well, then,
boom,
yeah,
it goes.
you'd be fine. But you know, you could get viruses and stuff.
Yeah.
It's better that you have that computer protected
Yeah.
in the long run, but I wouldn't
Right.
hope, if they might tell you you need to spend $2,000 on a
Right.
Dell such and such with so much memory and,
Right, and I mean, the thing I'm trying to get is if it's 16 gigabytes of RAM and it's a 512 SSD, it'll be plenty fast. I mean, those are,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, because I Bluetooth my phone to my laptop at home and stuff, it's not,
well, if I ran it, I was really at a quandary at our presentation because they had no internet and I needed to get our presentation on their computer that fed the screen. But they had a flash drive, and I just grabbed their flash drive. But then it wouldn't copy to the flash drive because my presentation was on the cloud.
Mm.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to get this presentation done. And somehow it did copy it onto the flash drive.
Okay.
But, if I could've just gone,
Right. Well, and so for the most part, I want the computer there, but for the most part, people bring their own computers. And the really important part is the wireless presentation hub, because the OWL stuff is gonna be tied into the presentation hub.
Yeah.
And so then they can just plug their computer into that hub. They'll probably have to get the software, but if we have the people that are meeting regularly there, and they'll get it eventually. But they plug it into that hub, and it pulls up the OWL software on their computer, so it's not a problem.
okay.
Like a dongle.
Well, when you get it, I might learn something. I might, you know, I'd be interested to see how it works. That's great.
But it'd be good for, I mean, even online meetings, they do that deal. It's kinda like you guys do with this deal.
But see, this is all hardwired. That goes into there. Now, we're, you know, these are remote, but it is supposedly Bluetooth, but they're hardwired into that little computer.
Yeah.
And that's how it was in the presentation. The computer actually had is it HDMI? It actually had a cable going to it. It wasn't,
Well, and you'd still have that, but I'm saying like if they brought their own computer and the computer
they put up to the HDMI.
they can do that, or if they wanted to, there's a computer that I would have that's already there, and they can just Bluetooth from one computer to the other.
What's
Either
an
way.
HDMI?
That's that cable that's going,
High
that's
definition-
what, that's what plugs in.
High definition media interface.
Interface, it's a specific cable you can plug in.
Oh,
Okay.
you're kind of up to speed on this stuff.
Knowledge is a
I'm
wonderful
humbled.
thing.
It would just give you a
This
lot.
reading is paying off.
HDMI, yep. Knowledge is a wonderful thing.
It'll, and then the OWL thing is
Keep
cool.
up.
You guys have probably seen those OWL deals. You
Yeah,
just
they
sit
got
on that
one at the
table
city.
and it spins around, goes over talking,
And
and,
then it'll show up,
yep.
Oh, the hell,
the
okay.
camera will move.
And it automatically transcribes the whole thing for like minutes. Our transcripts would be way too long, you wouldn't want to do it, but,
It's knowledge is power.
well, it just makes it easier to get minutes and everything out of my 4-H clubs and stuff.
And abandon all hope on it.
And also it's good for, I mean, the watershed, the coalition, and everybody that meets there.
Yeah, that's really great.
That's basically it.
Okay.
Well, is Justina in today?
No, she's not.
Are you
Just
working?
gonna talk to her.
Sounds good.
I can,
The topics.
bump Darcy up.
Yeah, quiz Darcy.
She's all good with that?
Well, she'd be good with it, but she might be able to help with the mechanisms.
Then that's what I was wondering about, is how to exactly do that with, in the bounds of the law.
Well, and just how we would do it. So I think you just put in a claim and well, when you're dealing with the bank, it may be something different. So Darcy is the right one to talk to.
Okay. Yeah.
We're gonna put money in your credit card. Basically, we're gonna up your limit or something. So, and that is a county card, right?
Says National County, it's national.
But we had them give you the minimum. Because you know, we don't know whether we can trust
We're
you.
concerned about your spending.
Yeah,
Oh, fair enough.
as we should be.
Put like 30 grand in there, man, I might just.
Well, there's departments that have
You
it.
can send
only way
emails
you-
from
The
Cancun.
only way you're allowed to spend that is if you share it.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
It's in the policy.
Hawaii, right?
see you in the Bahamas.
If the credit limit's high enough, you only have to do it once.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Well, then, no, this is a debit card, so it's straight cash.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
You could just, over time, just.
No, that's like
Just get a big enough number and then where'd Reed go?
Haven't heard
We
from
can't
him in a
find
while.
Oh my God, he took 120 grand out of it.
I went to his house. It's all right.
Well, he's studying soil conservation in the Bahamas,
Yeah, yeah.
Hawaii, and.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
He's
extension.
talking about sand, he's on the beach.
Yeah, that's right. Man, we could cover crop this maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out in a few years.
What does the effect of a margarita have on the soil?
Yeah. There is extension positions in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Through the college in San Juan.
San Juan.
And they do, and they've got some, yeah, they're very active and they're very good.
Yeah, they have a pretty cool ag community down there.
You were talking about cover crops, you know, I've had some decent luck with just getting straw. Just get some straw that you can't feed. Just take that, put that on your field, but you will have to put a little bit of nitrogen to help break
Break it
down
down,
the
right,
straw.
yeah.
But it'll help put, it'll retain moisture like you can't believe.
Right. And so that'd be kind of like similar to that bale grazing idea a lot of people are doing now. It's like, you know, you go get some, the problem, so, 'cause I talked about this with Landon yesterday too. They've been really starting to push this bale grazing deal in the wintertime for feeding or whatever, or in the summer, either way. But usually it's in the wintertime for feeding a herd of cows. And it's good because, you know, if you're doing, say, generally it's a lower quality hay. I mean, you're not gonna have a ton of nitrogen in your hay, at least you hope not. Or protein, but then if you're grazing it, you're gonna get that manure mixed in. You're also gonna get a lot of the nitrogen that comes out of a cow is in urine. But in the summertime, when they urinate, it off gases, so you don't get that as much into the soil. In the wintertime and below freezing temperatures, it actually goes into the soil and it doesn't off gas because it's less volatile in cooler temperatures. So that's a big part of why they're kind of pushing that bale grazing. Better nitrogen retention and soil organic matter and cover.
Mhm.
But when I was talking to Landon, I was like, yeah, man, the problem with that is, you know, it's like a lot of places around here, you're feeding out in the hills or doing something like that on your marginal ground, it's hard to get clean hay. You know, I mean, there's places like where we fed out in the hills for bulls or whatever, and it's like, well, that's our biggest weed problems. And of course, you know, obviously it's like, well, go buy some clean hay, but that's not always the easiest thing. Generally, it's more expensive than if you just have some sacrificial ground. So that's something to think about. But he made a good point of like, on some of these years, if you can go buy some CRP hay, usually CRP hay is generally fairly clean, and it's about the right quality that you'd want to do that with, so, yeah. But yeah, like it'd be similar to spreading straw. And apparently that bale grazing does make a big difference if it can fit into your system.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that definitely works. And then that nitrates from the cattle will help, like you're saying, break down that carbon, because you have a lower carbon nitrogen ratio, closer to 1:1.
Yeah, I know, when you put straw down, I mean, when you first put it down, you think, oh my God, nothing's gonna grow here.
Depends how thick you put it down.
Well, I
I'm
put
worried
the
about
whole
it
damn
blowing
bale
away.
there,
Yeah.
and I thought, shit, this is never gonna amount to anything. Well, God, within 6 months, it was just it was incorporated in the soil, and hell, it was, and everywhere there was a bale of that, where the old grass grew that high, you know, I mean, it really, but when you look at it on the, but I didn't plow the field. But I can tell you that if you're gonna plow, you really do need to have a little bit of, and it doesn't take a lot of nitrogen, but
Right.
it will take some.
Yeah, and I
to
can't
break it
remember,
down.
in these papers I was just reading on this cover crop stuff, they talk about the right soil carbon to nitrogen ratio, and what it needs to be to really,
Right.
encourage breakdown of that.
And we're such nitrogen poor soils around here,
Exactly.
especially with these sandy ones.
Exactly. But so then that's where some of this, you know, that's why, Like the cover crop mixes I'm looking at are like 50% grass, so I mean that can be annual grass, sorghum, triticale, rye, whatever, and then like 40% legumes in a pea or a vetch or something, because that'll fix that nitrogen, and then like 10% of the, what do they call them, the brassicas, like the, you know, like collards and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
or
the
turnips.
brassicaceae.
Yeah. Because then you get a lot of soil organic matter from those grasses, but you get a decent amount of nitrogen from those legumes, and that is kind of a good mix. But then, like I said, I'm trying to figure out what is really beneficial and not as far as soil moisture goes in a year-to-year basis, because they can say all they want, well, 10 years down the road it might make you money. Well, if you go broke 8 years down the road, they don't really do a lot for you.
Yeah, really, when your banker starts talking.
Almost
to you,
made it.
Yeah.
Damn, that's what's always the problem.
Them damn bankers.
Damn.
Which, you know, if you can get in maybe, yeah, I don't know, that's what I'm trying to figure out, so. But yeah, that's a good point, is,
There's some opportunities here for you to pursue that a little more in this area.
yeah, and I think the bale grazing thing is really, I wanna see some stuff tried on that real thick sand stuff of, it's tough, cause a lot of places where there's thick sand, there's a lot of pine trees, people aren't grazing out there, but there's some places where you can, and set those bale grids up if you don't wanna feed every day, and it's like, you don't want super expensive hay, because you're gonna have a little bit of waste, but it's supposedly should help your soil. But you don't want super cheap hay, because you don't wanna spread weeds all over there. So find the right hay, and then you set it up in like a grid of like 2 weeks of feed for your cows. So you have like 4 bales, 4 bales, 4 bales, 4 bales, and you have like electric fence, and you just pull a strand for every like day or whatever. I think they're saying 3 days for mother cows is about right. So 3 days of feed in one spot or row. Come cut the net wrap off. 3 days. They eat it, trample it down, you know, urinate on it, all that, and then you pull that next wire and then go to the next one. So, but supposedly, yeah, the next year you go out there and look on that marginal ground, and I mean, it's just ridiculous how much that helps the soil in water retention.
So that's just smart,
Yeah.
because you know, you probably need to feed your cows anyway.
Generally.
So in a way, yes, as a rule, but other than maybe pasture, I mean, but you know, where you're gonna have to put something down, so you might as well do that. And then based on what you were saying, the urination, ideally that would be better in the winter, wouldn't it? But it wouldn't be trampled in as well in the winter.
Well, depending. Usually, actually, it'd probably be better in the winter, other than like maybe 2 weeks when we have a real,
Hard
like
freeze.
early winter. I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Late November and December, it'd probably go in good when it's all mucky and. Yeah. So look at that, and what was I gonna say? I want to see it. Well, and like I said though, if you're talking Bull Mountains, it's tough because a lot of the marginal ground you might want to try it on pasture-wise is covered in pine trees. You can't have cows out there. But I'm trying to convince Mike here to go buy about 900 head of sheep and try this same bale grazing deal.
There you go. Keep thinking.
Because there's really no reason it wouldn't work with sheep.
Well, you start out with 900 head
Yeah.
in the Bull Mountains, and you end up with about 400 at the
Yeah.
end come spring.
Well, they're
After the
cheap.
coyotes and the mountain lions have ate them all.
Well, you got a donkey. They protect them, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah, they will actually.
Here you go. They already got a donkey. Yeah, dang marshmallows. I don't know.
I think, speaking of that, I was talking to Tammy Allen, and I think I told you this, she raises quarter horses, and she had a mountain lion get in, and they were going after the colts, and the horses formed a circle around the colts. So you had a mule or a donkey that killed them all.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, you can go in there with a dog around that donkey. Man,
Oh, no.
she freaking just go right after it.
They don't like it.
Mm-mm.
We'll get you a donkey. We got a donkey, Mike. We'll get you a couple llamas too. Maybe a couple.
Yeah.
I'm not quite that far yet.
Oh, okay.
Great Pyrenees, you need Great Pyrenees.
It is tough out there though. I think they'd get eaten.
Well, they're eating, coyotes were eating our our first calf heifers,
Yeah.
you know, they're not the best mother.
Mhm.
God, and we were